So hello everyone, and welcome to our interview, which is titled Marketing in the Times of a Pandemic. My name is Brian Pereira, and I'm the founding editor of Digital Creed. My website is digitalcreed.in, and I'm from Mumbai, India. So with me today for this recording interview on 16th of May 2020, I have Prasenjit Roy, who's a senior executive vice president marketing at NTT Netmagic. Welcome, Prasenjit, and it's nice to have you on this video interview.
Thanks, Brian. Pleasure to be here.
So just to tell our audience a little bit more about Prasenjit and his background, Prasenjit has more than 2.5 decades of experience on the business side, spanning across several multinationals in India and abroad. He's an accomplished and dynamic strategic marketer and a strategy specialist. Prasenjit is also a council member and mentor to NASSCOM's 10,000 Startups program and council member of the Confederation of Indian Industry. He has advanced degrees in engineering and business management and also did his postgraduate certification course in modern information systems from IIT Bombay. And currently, Prasenjit serves as the Senior Executive Vice President, Marketing at NTT Netmagic. So nice to have you on the show, Prasenjit, and we look forward to your insights on marketing.
Thanks, Brian. Pleasure is absolutely mine.
Right. So as I mentioned before, today we are discussing marketing in the times of a pandemic. And as we all know, marketing has changed a lot in the last 60 days. The customer touch points have changed. In the current situation, business models are changing and business leaders are talking about the new normal. Even marketers need to realign with that vision. So, Prasenjit, how is marketing changing today and how are marketers changing their marketing strategy to target the customers which are at different touch points now? A lot of these customers are at home. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure, Brian. Thanks for a nice question. So, Brian, COVID-19 has emerged as a black swan event. Okay, it has compelled organizations all over the world to rapidly transform the way they plan, they operate, and they conduct their business. So, despite being disruptive, this pandemic has come across an opportunity for marketers to have their own strategy. One of the strategies that we have evolved in our organization is a three-pronged one. Okay, so it's respond, it's reset, and it's thrive. Okay, at an ideal time. So I'll talk in details about each of these three phases. I'll first talk about respond. So within the respond phase, we have several nuggets. The first one is providing continuity of service, and which is paramount importance. Like we are in the data center, we are into ICT business. So the data center has to be on. Okay, it is essential service. The continuity of services in hosted infrastructure, cloud, with all variants of cloud, be it public, private, hybrid, the managed services, the network operations center, the managed security, including SOC, the security operations center. So this has to be always up and running because there are 2,000 and 2,500 customers who are dependent on it. Second is protecting and enabling our own people. Okay, what are we doing to enable them and what are we doing to make them absolutely ready to serve the customers? Okay, so be it in terms of transportation, be it in terms of service apartments, be it in terms of helping them to operate from our offices, entire arrangements being done, provision of food, water, snacks, everything we need to do. The third nugget, Brian, is helping clients respond to COVID. The mantra right now is to serve than to sell. So we are talking about new campaigns, outreach programs that we ran initially, where you can help the clients to power their digital workplace. Okay, helping them for remote access that's seamless and secure, setting the virtual office for the customers, in terms of business continuity, high security, optimized user access across the networks, how you are helping the clients to come back to normalcy. That is of paramount importance as of today. We also are working closely with the alliance partners. Okay, we are working with partners where, say, for example, the security partners, helping them to offer some source code leak monitors and confidential data leak monitor services, because many of them who are into very confidential services and they need to be online, how to help them so that they receive real-time alerts if their proprietary source code or confidential data is exposed on the public domain. Okay, and we see a lot of demand coming in that. We are working with a lot of technology partners, the technology giants, the hyperscalers, offering business productivity tools, be it the Microsoft Teams or be it the G Suite from Google or be it even the Cisco WebEx. And the last nugget, Brian, is the sharing of the best practices. We come from global organizations. We have around offices across more than 100 countries. So we have our experience and experts around the world. How are we sharing our best practices in terms of connectivity, security, flexible working, and wider business continuities to support our clients and the wider community? So it's something that we need to offer to them on a regular basis so that they can understand and imbibe those best practices, which is prevalent and doing so well. I will talk about the two phases of reset and thrive subsequently. The other thing I want to talk about, Brian, is so this unforeseen disruption to business operations and the lockdown of the consumers has made digital marketing one of the best and most impactful options. Everything has basically pivoted to digital because you can't do any physical events in today's world right now. So
Sure.
most businesses, including the IT sector, is focused on communicating with the audiences, including online channels. Companies and the marketing agencies in today's world have realigned their strategies to ensure mobile and internet outreach. Smart marketers, like many of them in different companies, have reallocated their resources to electronic and digital revenues and cut down on planned expenditure on print and outdoor advertising for the time being. Lastly, Brian, one of the key things that gets missed out and which is of paramount importance, again, I'm repeating, Brian, is the aspect of communication. We ignore this inadvertently. This is as crucial as it can get in today's time. You need to communicate with customers. You need to communicate with the business partners. So communicate the hygiene and environmental sustainability. Communicate in whatever form, shape, and size. Communication with the employees. This is has to be on a regular basis. You just cannot afford to neglect this.
Okay, so respond, reset, and thrive. Those are the keywords for business continuity today, right?
True.
Okay, so a majority of your customers are now working from home, employees working from home, and so we're talking about marketing and advertising now. Okay, there's no outdoor hoardings at airports or on the highways. There's no newspaper advertisements. As you mentioned, a lot of it has gone on to digital. So when you're targeting new customers or you're kind of retargeting past customers, what are some of the strategies, marketing campaigns that you are using, Prasenjit, as a marketer, particularly in the digital space, and what works for you?
Yes. So, Brian, customers, as you know, are mostly at home, barring a few who works out of offices for essential services. And there's been a tremendous increase in their screen time every day. Okay, hence this is the
Yeah,
time which is ripe for marketers to make their presence felt on television and mobile screens, or even in terms of YouTubes and etc. With attention grabbing and relevant advertising, not only to meet the customer needs, but also to strengthen the brand relationship with the target audience. As far as location targeting is concerned, Brian, there's not much difference in campaign strategies. Majority of the customers live in the same city or region where they work. Hence, if marketers are used to targeting Delhi or Mumbai for campaigns, for instance, they're likely to continue selecting the same location. In certain cases, in micro level location adjustments can be done. We should give preference to the residential areas where the TG lives over commercial districts and areas of high density of the office buildings, but the city and the areas more or less remains the same. However, the major difference, brand, will have to come in the form of the content, and that is the key out here. With everyone at home, one single advertisement is likely to be seen by the entire family members across different age groups. So marketers have to keep that aspect very, very clear in their mind. It will be crucial to create an emotional connect and present content that grabs attention across demographics,
right.
be it television, be it your OTT, be it your Netflix, be it your YouTube. Today's world, everyone is watching. Okay, maybe they have demarcated the time zone. Okay, so you need to ensure that your ads, your content, your narrative has an appeal for everyone. So the consideration of potential customers in one location and the extra time at their disposal, because right now there have been some data where people spend more than 4 to 5 hours per day on social media or on different devices. So that
That's
will
right.
increase the chances of advertisement being noticed. So key thing again is to it should be spot on, superior in content to improve the campaign's ROI.
So what you're saying is that the content has to appeal now to the entire family, the demographic
Absolutely. Yes.
changes. It has to have a
Absolutely.
broader appeal.
Yes. Because
Broader
the
appeal.
same, absolutely, the same device is being used, or maybe the same OTT is used on
It's being
Netflix,
shared
etc.
across family
Across,
members.
some is work. The kid is working in the afternoon. The wife may be
Yeah.
doing it in the evening, and the husband may be doing after the day's work.
Yeah. So I have the same issue at home. My daughter's doing Zoom classes in the afternoon. I'm doing Zoom calls on the same laptop.
Absolutely.
We're sharing the same Amazon Prime connection. Yeah, so you're right there. So just going back a little bit, a lot of the advertising spends used to be on television, outdoor, newspaper. You see some of those spends being redirected now towards the digital
Abs-
channels.
Absolutely, absolutely. So on the marketing side, brand, we have enforced curbs. It has come to us even from the headquarters. So all discretionary spends have come down. So not only are we talking about physical events cut down, or we're talking about paid advertisements or billboards, it's also in terms of anything where we were going berserk before the COVID-19. We have to put a curb on that. So non-essential communication agencies, working with the contractors, etc., all has been put on hold for the time being till we come out of this phase, and we really don't know how long is the phase going to be.
So in other words, you're saying there's reduced spending on marketing now? Or you're
Slight
redirecting spending?
redirecting. Okay, obviously slight reduced spending, because if you look at it, Brian, the entire portfolio of a marketing budget, a significant goes into events and outdoors and etc. So obviously, if all the physical events are getting curtailed, there will be a cut down in the overall budget, but quite a significant part will move to pivot to digital.
Right. So let's move. Let's look a little ahead, Prasenjit. Where do you see marketing heading in the next few months? We don't know when the pandemic is going to end.
True.
The
True.
World Health Organization is saying that you may not have a vaccine in 2 years or 18 months, but that's anybody's guess. There is a lot of over 100 trials for vaccines going on right now,
Yes.
independent vaccine research projects. But we
Yes.
do not know when this is going to end. But where we have to settle into the new norm and kind
Absolutely.
of accept this as the kind of the new norm. So where do you see marketing heading in the next few months?
Yes, that's a very good question, Brian. Thanks. I see marketers have to be resilient by demonstrating adaptability. Sorry, in this period. So the adaptability in terms of resetting their entire priorities. So I call this a reset phase, Brian.
Yes,
One
yes.
of the key things is pivoting to digital. Okay, so we basically have to move to digital. The entire focus has to be in digital, because that's where the medium is. Everyone is playing there. So you see the emergence of the webinars, you see the emergence of virtual roundtables, the virtual conferences, closed door meetings, all taking place. We also do a lot of peer group sessions. Okay, so where we create a peer group of people, a close-minded network of people. So basically, maybe the CIOs pertaining to some few community verticals, or maybe the CISOs pertaining to a few domain, etc., because they have a common liking. And we have a peer group sessions discussion with them. That becomes very focused, and we can go into the depth and find out which are the real pain points that is lurking beneath the surface, and they're grappling with it. We do a lot of digital events. Okay, so basically the entire manifestation of a conference has moved to the virtual world. So it's interactive workshops, it has multiple tracks, it has case studies. Then we are doing a lot of campaign driven approach that will go viral. Okay, and I've mentioned a few of them in my last
That's right.
pointers. We see narrative playing a very critical role, brand narrative that resonates with the target audience. The other thing which has come out very, very clearly and is playing a very significant role is a very proactive and sensitive engagement on the social media space. So, social marketing strategies where one promotes a brand's products as a necessity and a support system from the end user will get a highly and better ROI, enhanced ROI. And lastly, one thing we have been doing, brand, and that is we have been driving marketing programs as a theme-based ones. Pick up a relevant and contextual theme that resonates both internally within the organization as well as with the target groups. And this theme based are really paying off. We have seen rich dividends. Like I'll give you some examples for you to understand this better. So one of the theme based that we did was IT infra modernization. How do you build up your always available, managed, and secure IT infrastructure? The pandemic has told us clearly that we were totally not prepared for what has hit us. It has shown us that our infrastructure has got to be elevated by a couple of notches. It has shown us that we need to have availability of business applications and communication collaboration services all the time, and especially during these unforeseen circumstances. And this is so critical to business. This has come under a spotlight in COVID pandemic because businesses that were least impact were the ones that could easily and quickly reconfigure into the mode of servicing customers remotely. So do the businesses have the ability to reconfigure quickly, and do they have the IT infrastructure architecture that allows data centers and clouds to deliver? Do they have the employee to access securely and the customers to transact online without any physical constraints? And how are we leveraging the available technologies and services to create the infrastructure setup that would minimize the impact in disaster situation like COVID-19? So where you have a play of security, you have a play of DR and everything. So that is one theme which we have rolled out, Brian. We have rolled out with industry bodies. One of the questions, Brian, was I missed out in the previous, was the different channels we're using. So besides
Yes.
our own, Brian, we use a lot of channels. The channels which besides our own are the channels which are with the tech partners. The channels are with the channel partners. The channels are with the hyperscaler partners because we work with them very closely. We work with the industry bodies. Okay, we do this joint initiative about the theme that I spoke about with big industry players like CII with NASCOM. We work with the analyst bodies also. So we did something with the Frost and Sullivan, where Sharad, our CEO, spoke about the problems that the ICT industry is facing. Sharad was representing one from the ICT industry, and he spoke about what are the dangers lurking around the corner, how one need to gear up for that, what is the road ahead, and one needs to brace up for the difficulties that are going to come in months and years to come. So we work across the multiple stakeholders in the ecosystem, and we are using all the channels available. So it's not only our own machinery, we collaborate and work with everyone to make the messaging much more pronounced and much more relevant. Couple of more themes I can talk about, which besides the one I spoke about, could be on enterprise collaboration. Okay, the other one could be on workplace transformation, which entails VDI. VDI is taken off. A virtual desktop has taken off quite well because there's an urgent need for that. Enterprise collaboration tools. Okay, I spoke about earlier. Business applications on cloud. So we could talk about a workplace transformation. And lastly, as a marketer, we also need to be cognizant of the fact that we are a team. We are we are a team with humans. We are a team with other team members who work in different functions. We need to focus on the morale, health, and wellness of the team members because they are the people who are driving this. Everyone is under severe constraint, working remotely. They're working from home. They're working at home, etc. So we need to be cognizant of the fact that we need to be rally around each of the team members, ensure that they are all working fine, their home are fine, their family members are fine, and they're not suffering from any stress whatsoever. I think that is one another key thing that we sometimes overlook when we look at the main agenda and drive the engine forward. I think we need to be cognizant of that aspect too.
So, Prasenjit, one of the questions that I get from my audience, and I do a webinar or a call like this very frequently these days, and this is not a question that I had shared with you earlier. It's a career question. There are a lot of people who come on these calls, who attend these webinars, and they are learning. So these days, with the lockdown, a lot of people are doing digital marketing courses online. There are a lot of platforms for this learning. My favorite one is HubSpot. There's Udemy and Coursera and so on. LinkedIn Learning. What are the things that the question that I keep getting is what aspects of digital marketing do I need to learn in today's context? To improve my skills to prepare for marketing tomorrow. Should it be YouTube video? What aspects of marketing, digital marketing, should I be learning?
Good question. I think, Brian, it all depends on which point of the curve the individual is. If he's starting right at the base, then I think he needs to pick up all the nuances of digital marketing. Okay, so be it your SEO, SEM, how the ads are done, the different channels, etc. He needs to have a complete mastery of the 9 yards of digital marketing. Okay, and then once he graduates and picks up experience, he can go deep down into it. If he's already a digital marketing, okay, for example, I'll just give you an example. So, Brian, I get a lot of requests coming from LinkedIn, etc. People who after seeing my profile, ping me and say, I need to have a bit of coaching and mentoring. And this is as recent a few days back. So it's right on the top of my mind. So this gentleman is an engineering student, a final year student. He's a computer science graduate, but he has got a fancy towards digital marketing, and he has been doing digital marketing for last 2 3 years. In his off time, etc., he's picked up a lot of this courses, certification, etc. He has even joined some of his friends and have been executing digital marketing projects. And SEO and SEM was his very key focus areas. So he asked me is whether I'm on the right track and all whether I need to do this, etc. So I told him, and I gave him a completely different viewpoint, and I'll share what I told him. I said, see, you are into computer science and you are doing quite well, and you are in NIT, a good institute, and you're in the final year. What you are doing currently is the execution of digital marketing, the application side of it. Okay, where you're going to compete with many of you people who are coming into this particular business and may come from diverse backgrounds. It's something similar like you have to go from a point A to point B, and you have many modes of transport. Either you can take any transport, any available car, etc., a Maruti, or you can take an auto, or you can take a bus, etc., and go there. You have with you a car which is your Ferrari, um, a sports car. You are also doing the A to B, but you are not utilizing the full capacity of your car. So what I told him, the space that you come from, which is a computer science, etc., and if you have a fancy towards digital marketing, be in digital marketing, but don't be in what execution of projects and doing SEO SEM. Your objective is to be on the technical side. Your objective should be a part of the Google team in trying to create what is going to be the tomorrow of digital marketing, how the SEO and SEM are being done and being worked across. You have to work on the technical side to work on it. So you be in digital marketing, but you work in a different phase. Okay, you carve out of tomorrow's how the keywords are going to be defined, what algorithms needs to put in. The tomorrow's algorithms you need to be designing based on your knowledge and based you are a computer engineer. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say, Brian, is it depends on the individual where he is. It depends on his interest level. It depends on what route he has traversed, and then he will have to pick up. So it cannot be one answer that fits everything.
Right. Okay, so let's move ahead. Let's be optimistic now, and let's hope for the best. That once the lockdown is eased, once the pandemic is over, marketing will have to again. We have to restore marketing to pre-COVID conditions. So how can marketers pivot to that and be resilient? What is it that they need to do? Or in future, if the pandemic repeats, what is the way that we can quickly react as marketers? What are the things we need to do?
Yes, Brian, you're absolutely right. So uh, we really don't know the exit of this pandemic is really going to be the exit, because we are talking about second wave, third wave all across the world. But assuming that the end of the first phase, well, let's talk it that way. So that is where I think I will call out the third phase, which I have described earlier as a thrive phase. So marketing, I think, needs to play a very larger role, more than a normal marketing role that they have been doing the pre-COVID times. Marketing needs to do more of an orchestrating role, need to delve more into strategy, need to work closely with the product teams, Brian, needs to come out with some high value services that resonates in the new normal, that is based on the needs of the market, based on what the CIOs, CISOs, and the customers or prospect suspects have come and spoken to the company. Okay, so rejig the product portfolio also. Work with the industry bodies, because then you can serve a wider footprint and larger community. I think it's time for the business to show support to the customers, business partners, employees, and the families of the stakeholders involved, because everyone is not in the same journey or the same point. Some may be ahead, some may be behind you. So, what help are you doing to ensure that he comes at speed with you? I think increase the quantum of communication. And the priority should be on eradicating negativity or any fear sentiments that might have entered the business ecosystem. And you have plenty of that, Brian. You have this WhatsApp and all those messages. Uh, More than 50% are full with negativity, with fear, with psychosis. So we need to eradicate everything out of the system. We need to up the ante as far as the narrative is concerned. And this communication has to be supported by positive examples to make the peers learn lessons from such examples. How do we have one bright example and that be the shining light where everyone can revolve around it and draw a lot of feedback and inspiration from that? So while addressing the overall community, I would suggest a three-pronged approach, Brian, to effectively deal with this new normal scenario. One, I think, would be focus on supporting your clients, which is very, very important. Help clients because, Brian, the thing is, even after the post-COVID, many of those mid and small and micro will be grappling. They will have tremendous problems across multiple dimensions. Okay, things are not going to be normal for the entire ecosystem of customers. It will take a hell lot of time. So I suggest we need to focus on supporting our clients, help the client-facing teams, undertake engagements with the clients on a weekly basis, build and strengthen journeys for critical BCP propositions. A lot of them will need business continuity propositions from us. Focus on continuous delivery of critical services. And the key thing, Brian, is listen to the needs of the market. We sometimes overlook that. We are busy in pushing our own agenda, busy in pushing our services and products to the market. Listen to them and building new stories based on how you are helping the communities. Because as I said, those stories have a wide appeal. They just revolve around the ecosystem and will create someone who's in despondent state to come out of his shadows and despair. So build those stories around. Second one is switch to digital, entirely to digital. Empower your client and employee facing teams to interact with each other using digital channels for a long period of time, because gone are the doors where you can have physical meetings, do a handshake, embrace each other. I think it's pretty long in the future. So resort to digital, resort to phone and video calls as much as possible. uh, do away most with the emails. Okay, at times we need to do the emails, but have video calls as much as possible. Emphasize on the intent data. Okay, what you need to do, what you are planning, how you need to go about it, that should be very visible. Nurture the corporate channels. And lastly, ensure consistent and proactive but smart social engagements have to be on a daily basis. Also, one more thing, Brian, I need to spell out, and that is coming out. It came out in our teams is the agility in the roles. There will be a relentless prioritization of tasks and force in organizations. Also, there will be a lot of teams which may not have uh, entire workload right now. Like for example, if I want to call out is, for example, is maybe the HR team in terms of recruitment, or maybe the admin team who does their booking for hotels and flights. Okay, there will be someone in the marketing team who are fully into the physical events or in ads, etc. So agility in the roles is more teams should be deployed to high demand areas. Those people have to be reskilled so that they can move into high demand areas. So they should be focused on taking time for training and learning new skills. So to your earlier point, Brian, we are doing it very effectively. Our CEO is driving this mandate across to the organizations that in today's world, when you are saving around 2 hours to 3 hours in commute time, put that in good use. We have Udemy for all our employees. We have a portal which is at the company level, which is called Decreed. He wants every one of us to pick up courses and move up the value chain in terms of picking up new skills. I think that is a critical thing as far as employees are concerned, to upgrade themselves.
So that was a very insightful answer, and there's a lot of learning there, especially in your last response for all the marketers out there. So Prasenjit, we really thank you for your responses, for your insight, and thanks for joining us here today for this video interview.
Thank you, Brian. It was my pleasure. Thanks for the interview.
So you were listening to Prasenjit Roy, Senior Executive Vice President Marketing at NTT Netmagic. And you can also watch a video with Sharat Sanghi, the CEO of Netmagic, which will also be on Digital Creed in a few days. And this is your host, Brian Pereira, founding editor of Digital Creed, signing out. Stay tuned for more such video interviews. Have a nice day and stay safe, everyone. We'll
Thanks,
see you
Brian.
soon.
Thanks, Brian. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.